Good morning. This is Bill from Auto Europa Naples, and today I have a 2012 Nissan Leaf. This is a fully electric vehicle, zero emissions, as it proudly displays on its badging. It's a very attractive car in kind of a funky new age Jetson styling sort of way, which brings us into my number one complaint about this car, and that is that it doesn't make that famous Jetsons noise as it drives down the street. I know everybody says that, I'm not the first guy, but come on, Nissan, give us a button. I know you have audio warning beepers for pedestrians, so they're not mowed over by a silent vehicle. Why not make it the Jetsons sound effect for propulsion? Please, as an enthusiast, let me be the first guy, or the 50th guy, or the 500th guy to make that suggestion. Anyway, I digress. Again, 2012, this is a good thing. It came out in 10, so there's 2 years of refinements in this car. It's very, very attractive all around. Nice tuxedo black paint job outside. Look at those big funky headlamps. I mean, holy cow. Designed by the same guy who did Pokemon. Very, very attractive in every way. Nice 5-star alloy wheels, everything proper. Inside is a beautiful sort of suede look, cloth, taupe interior. All right, well, that was one of those phone calls that stops the video. Anyway, what I was getting into is that this is one of the first real user-accessible, sort of everyday guy electric vehicles. There's some very fancy ones out there that, Robert De Niro and Barbara Streisand used to go to the Oscars when they're not in their, jet-powered Rolls-Royce Phantoms. But, very, very sort of accessible car, a four-door hatchback in the traditional, city commuter style. Very funky styling, but not totally outside the box, if this had come out as a gas car, nobody would be really shocked by it. And, it's very easy to use, very easy to get along with. It has a really friendly sort of driving feel to it, a very nice range, and everything is proper. So let's start inside the hatch. This is all very traditional here, like the rear wiper. Here's our charging cable, so I always keep that around if you need it. Those rear seats do fold down. It's got a nice big area back there for all the groceries or, meals on wheels that you're going to take to the homeless guys. Everything is extremely nice and proper. I love the blue tinted Nissan badges. Okay, here in the back seat, these are heated, by the way, which is not just a luxury. The idea behind that is the more heat that comes from the electric seats, the less heat you're going to use from the climate control, and it's more power efficient. So standard heating on these cars on all the seats, which is quite nice. Anyway, room for 3 adults, everything very proper. Look at the legroom in there for a small car. Terrific fit and finish. Everything as it should be. Now, before we hop inside and go for a spin, I'm going to show you 2 things up front. One is the engine. God, that freaks me out. It is electric, of course, but it looks very traditional. Absolutely could be some sort of inline 4, but of course it is an electric motor. You can see everything nice and proper under there, well kept, as it should be, and nowhere to check the oil, but still not too far outside the box. All right, underneath there is the charging port. This is a very standard connector, believe it or not. So pretty much any electric car uses the same connector. There's all kinds of friendly charge-up areas. Any business that sort of wants to encourage forward thinking will have charging ports that you can pull in. So your IKEAs of the world and such, you can charge up there. Also, secretly, you can use your boss's electricity if nobody's looking. And if he complains about it, you can tell him he's a giant carbon footprint jerk. So, it really works out well. You can really shame people with this car, and there's nothing wrong with a good shaming. Anyway, let me get inside the car and let's go for a spin. You can see the nice front bucket seats, all very supportive, lovely fabric, very, very forward-thinking design, very modern, nice swoopy curves and funny-looking buttons. You know, it's what you'd expect from something that's kind of modern, but they didn't make it too outside the box so you wouldn't recognize it. I particularly love these little forward vent windows there. They're not really vent windows. They remind me of that on an old Beetle, but they are good for forward vision. Okay, so we're gonna hop in, foot on the brake, hit the start button, make some lovely music. Look at that, 0 emissions, it all fires to life. So what we have here is a nice big driver information display, and one of the fun things about driving an electric vehicle is you can turn every trip into a game and owning the car into a long-term game. So in terms of, you know, power, in terms of modes, in terms of how much range you can get, your MPGe, which is, you know, the conversion for electric vehicles, and it's just pretty cool. You've got all kinds of indicators and gauges. Up here is a eco meter that sort of determines, you know, your economical driving, and it will make trees. It's not going to do it while we're driving because it takes a while, but a little tree will make itself underneath that gauge and then go to the right, and then it'll make another tree, and eventually you'll have enough trees that you can have a forest that you can clear cut and build a golf course. So it's a pretty cool thing. Down there is the bigger gauge. Over here you've got battery temperature. You've got your power gauge, that's how much you're using, and when it gets back into here, that's how much you're regenerating from the brakes and the wheels. Nice system. Over here is your, knocking the horn off, good Lord. It does have a horn. Over here is your battery indicator. You see, I've been using it this morning, so I've got 35 miles left on range. The battery life is at 8 bars. Now, what that means is that we get a new battery from Nissan. So, you know, the car's still wholly functional and fun to use and has a good range. When I plugged in this morning, I was at 65. But because it's showing 8 bars, we put in a request for Nissan, and in a month we're going to have a brand new battery installed, maybe less. So the car will be at peak capacity very shortly. If you buy the car and you're not local, that can transfer to your Nissan dealership anywhere. So pretty cool piece in this vehicle that it'll be totally refreshed soon. There you can see just 29,000 miles on the clock. Beautiful leather multifunction steering wheel. Over here, a nice big screen that gives you your navigation, AM, FM, satellite. Quite cool. Here's your climate control system. You got a 12-volt outlet down there. Again, those ecological heated seats. I love that. And a very funky Star Trek style shifter there. So let's let this woman and her dog go. A couple of nice pooches, I'm sure. And everything will be fine when she goes. All right, so what we're going to do is go over and down. That'll get us into a drive mode. Now, if we do that one more time, we go into eco mode, and what that's going to do is slow down our ability to, you know, jackrabbit start or, you know, get heavy throttle. Not that you'd be racing your Leaf anyway, but you know, it makes it so you can't, even if you want to. And away we go. And what that does, of course, is extend the range and you know, make everything even that much more efficient. Now, going into drive, you get all the juice you want, so if you hammer it, it'll be pretty quick. We'll try that in a minute. Let's hammer the car and see what it does. I haven't done that yet. They say electric cars are great because they've got instant power. Okay, what I'm going to do is put it in park, like that, very simple. If I wanted reverse, I'd go like that, and we will be in reverse, but I'm going back to park, and now I'm in normal drive, so let's see what happens. Yeah, instantly you can already feel it takes off quicker. You've got more throttle pedal. You know, I feel like I might be in a race car. Let's see what happens if I nail it. It's almost the Jetsons noise. All right, well, that was pretty cool. It's like the fastest golf cart that I've ever been in with air conditioning. Anyway, here it is, 2012 Nissan Leaf, great condition, black and tan, black and taupe, whatever you want to call it. Lovely car all around, tons of fun to drive. No vibration from the wheel, nice response from the pedal. The thing drives like a normal car. Like I picked my dad up to go to dinner last night. He's an old guy, he's 93 years old. He didn't have a clue he was in an electric car. I told him, he said, yeah, it's electric, I can't believe it. So he was very impressed by that. And that is the trick of this car, is they really have made it very accessible. It's not different from driving any other car to work, other than it's quiet and you may kill pedestrians. So there it is. Our number is 239-649-7300 on the web at mercedesexpert.com. Thanks for having a look today. We appreciate it. We'll see you with the next one. Take care.